And I think we're live. Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2020. Time to get started again with these weekly live streams. Hoping to have some good consistency. Start off January on a positive note. For anyone who's joining us the first time, welcome. I'm Adam Ruff. I'm a product designer at AngelList. One of the things I'll work on tonight a little bit is some design system stuff for AngelList. And I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to, if you've got something to share, I love checking things out. If you're looking for any advice or just want to share what you're working on, love to hear about it and chat with you. Otherwise, you're welcome to hang out and take a look at some of the stuff I'm working on. So tonight, I actually wrote notes somewhere. Where are my notes? My intro. So that's my intro. You can check out try to get in the habit of posting links. Right, you can check out my own website there. Easy. After design system stuff, I should do a pitch for AngelList too. Boom. What? Oh yeah. Silly me. It's like, do you work there? There's AngelList. I work on the venture team. You may, if you're looking for a new job this year, at any time, be sure to check out AngelList Talent Side. Look for some cool startup jobs. Highly recommend. And after that, I'd love to get a volunteer this year to help me with UX design contests. So last year, I ran it. I think I got about six months of contests, and then I had zero bandwidth to work on it, and it was frustrating because people kept signing up. They're like, I'm interested, and nothing was happening. So this year I'm going to try soliciting some help, figure out what value I can add to volunteers who are interested in spending a little bit of their time to help with this project. Before I get to work, a couple more things to mention. If you happen to be in the Bay Area or happen to be traveling to the Bay Area around Tuesday, January 21st, we have Cascades Mentor Night happening, which is a really cool event. We've got all kinds of great experienced design mentors who are going to be there that you can chat one-on-one with. You get about 20 minutes. 20-minute sessions for those folks. I'm going to be there helping out as a mentor. So I'm looking forward to meeting some new folks and helping people out. If you're interested in this activity, I'll go ahead and put the link in chat. I'll add these links to the video on YouTube as well. I think that's something I want to start getting in the habit of doing. And let's see, what else? Another event. So I'm going to be doing this Tuesday the 21st. The following week, my main man, Pablo Stanley, he is running a workshop on creating product illustration libraries. So he's done a whole bunch of libraries. You may, let's see if I can guess. Yeah, I got it spelling. Here's an example of like an illustration library that Pablo's done. He's done I think he's working on one more right now. That's a little bit different stylistically. Let me plug these two things as an example of like, what do I mean by product illustration library? It's the idea of, a library where you can make it very easy to make a suite of product or illustrations for your product. That is happening on the 28th. Super excited about that. I'm going to pop that in as well. If you're also attending the event, let me know. I would love to say hi, and maybe we can share some tips. I'm hoping it's going to be a workshop. Let me see what it is again. Illustrations. Yes, I get it. Illustrations. Join Rethink and our special guest Pablo Stanley to discuss how the process of creating illustration libraries using the atomic design system method. Interesting. So he's going to walk through history of illustration and comics. That should be funny. And a look at how illustration is being applied in different products, so some inspiration. And then he's going to do a demo of an illustration library being created. Excellent. So it seems like there's going to be some opportunities to take some notes and also kind of play monkey see, monkey do, and start building up some habits around creating an illustration library. So that looks super cool. I'm excited. January is already shaping up to be a great month. Alrighty. With that out of the way, I think those are the only events that I'm flagging tonight. I'm going to bring up Sketch. There it goes. It should be over there. Boom. And I'll provide a little bit of context about what's going on. So the team that I'm working on, the AngelList venture team, we've got 3 folks. It's myself, Chad, and Rachel. And one of the things that we started building and investing in was a design system last year. And the team's really only been 3 people since last January. So we're just celebrated our anniversary of our 3-person design team. And we've been investing in this design system, like I mentioned, largely to make design faster, easier, to help keep things consistent. Oftentimes we find we have a lot of projects and a lot of needs for designers, and we might each be a lead on a project running with things. And when we have a design system like this, it helps us to maintain consistency and that fluid, familiar experience for people who are using the apps that we're working on. And we have quite a few tables. All of this stuff, I see we have different types of data here. We have like simple text data. We have things that have little icons and stuff. And I want to get these into the style guide tonight, or get as far as I can in maybe 30-45 minutes. And where I'm gonna start is this table. So we've got things that are table rows. Excellent. It looks like I made some to-do notes. Let me read these real quick and let me update this. January 8th, 2020. By the way, if you have questions about how we're setting up the design system in terms of this single sketch library, let me know. Happy to shine a spotlight on other areas. Just gonna largely focus on this. Good. We'll add description later. Okay, create symbol for different content types, company funds, blah, 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 blah. I think we already have that to some extent. Let's see here. Let me check out what this table is. Oh, that's interesting. Do I have this data locally on my computer, or did this come with it? Interesting. I'm using data, this sketch preferences data group. So I think I have the file locally on my computer. Maybe I put it in Dropbox. But it's super handy in being able to fill things in with dummy data. I don't remember if we have a consistent spacing on these things. To me, 16 pixels. We're using an 8 pixel grid. And 8 pixels seems like the more comfortable expected proximity, right? If this starts to get too far away, it starts to look like separate things, right? Let's try to keep those together a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this into a symbol. So I'm going to call this is going to be company. So it says logo. I'm just going to update. Let's see if I can show this. The easiest way to show this. Whoops. Not what I wanted to do. I'm trying to find the shoot. There it is. I'm trying to find that cursor change so I can pull things up. So I can go into things a little bit more. And that way I can scroll and you can see things a little bit more easily on the side there. That's what I'm trying to do. Company logo, company name, cool. This is going to be, I'm going to create a symbol out of these and I'm going to call this card table company. Card table company? Sure. That works for now. This is just really simple. Status. Why is this that's just a tag. Okay. It just has a label of status. This is just text. This is text with underline. Okay. Great. What else do I have for table? I have transaction rows. I have this table row. So I actually want to copy this over into the table row. So remove those. Gonna make sure I have the appropriate padding. Excellent. Table we have as, what's going on there? There we go. Pending. Cool. Great. I see something that I've been going through and trying to fix is whenever we use all caps, in order to make sure that the text is more legible, there's a really easy trick you can do. And the calculation is based on, I should pull up a code pen maybe. I'll segue. This will take a second, but oh, why did it ask me to log? It showed me my thing and it logged in. All right, let's get a new pen going. All right, I'm gonna make this. Let's just say P. This is SAS. Font size equals 16 pixels. Okay. What was an example of the text? Company. And actually, we don't do all caps when we type. I should do good practice. And then we're gonna say text. Oops, I have a text transform uppercase. There we go. Cool. So I've got that now. Body padding 240 pixels. Okay, so we've got company down here. That's one example, and then I'll do another example to compare so you can see the difference, because I think that's the whole point. And actually, let me change the view. So we're doing this. And now you can see it a little bit better. So we've got two examples, and one is going to have class equals legible. And for class legible, I could do this in design tools too, but I want to show where it's coming from. Class legible, it's going to have letter spacing 0.1 m. And I'll zoom in on this because it's probably a little bit difficult to see at that size. This is the first one. This is just, it's the text, the word, all caps. What happens with all caps for default spacing is the letters kind of blend together. It just looks like a whole block. So by adding a slight bit of spacing in between the letters, it's actually easier to see each individual letter form. And so that's where this 0.1 m is coming from. And the way that I translate that into design tools, now I go back into Sketch, right, is through this character area right here. So character is essentially the same as letter spacing. So to do the math, right, and actually you can do it right in Sketch, but it's a little bit easier to see when I do it here in the Spotlight. 12 times 0.1 is 1.2. Now you can do that math here, or you can do it in your head. And now you'll see that we've updated that heading to be more legible. It does take up slightly more space, so space can be a concern. I wonder why that thing is so big. Oh, it's got this. We don't use anything to split. So now what I can do is I can use Option Command C and copy the style, and then I can go to each of these other headings, and I can use Option Command V and paste the style in there. I see that it's breaking some stuff because I don't have alignment set to auto width. Now I do, and that's going to throw off some alignment for some things. That's okay. What we can do is scoot that back. I'm going to get rid of all these splits because we're not using dividers. We're just using space. This was kind of an old pattern idea, was to have the dividers. Eight pixels, fantastic. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to detach one of these from the symbol. And I guess status could probably be left aligned. Could also be center aligned. I don't have a strong sense of active, pending. I don't have any of the other examples of the status. Invest date. Definitely be left. Why does line have a group? I think actually I'm going to undo that. Undo my breaking of the group if I can. There we go. Because I think it has to do something with resizing. So I'm not going to monkey with that too much. Boom. Numbers will be right aligned. Multiple. This thing's kind of like tag. In fact, I think ultimately we should just make these tags. So I'm going to propose simplifying, and I'm actually going to copy this in a tag. Although interesting, we don't have a bold text option for tag. This is something that could be right aligned or could be center aligned. It seems like tags probably can be center aligned. These aren't going to change in width very much, right? Unless it's like a real outlier. That's fine. Cool, so now we have those things roughly aligned. Actually, what I probably should have and could have done is just do that right here. The actual table row, because then this will update all of them. Change there. Right aligning these. And I'm just going to, I can grab this at least. What? Now chat's working. Hey Peleg, Ralph, Julie, nice to meet you as well. So, funny thing, I'll show this. So, this says top chat, and last year, I ran into an issue where by default it says top chat. Whoa! Hey, all right, someone's working. Looks like someone subscribed or it did something. That's awesome. Great. We've got some connection with the events. Sweet. Anyways, sorry I didn't see the chats. Funny thing about YouTube, it looks like they totally reversed the functionality of top chat and live chat. Now it shows. Actually, maybe there's an issue when I open chat before I go live, because this shows all of them as well. Top chat, it's hard to read. It says some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. And that, in my experience, that meant that almost all messages were invisible or not visible. Live chat, all messages are visible. All right, so lesson to anyone else, if they're planning to do a YouTube live stream, refresh your chat or switch the chat, do something if you've opened up your chat before you go live. Sorry about that. I try to do my best to be responsive. And I see that Ralph has asked a question if I've heard of Abstract. And I have, and we actually use it at Twitch. Oh, there it is. Nico Booth. I just see it on the replay. Hey Nico, welcome. Thanks for I think that's for subscribing. Appreciate it. Where's my... So Abstract, and this is, I'm not using my work computer. I just put my, opened up the sketch file. But yeah, this Abstract is essentially a version control system for sketch files. And this is actually what I use when I'm at the office. So anything that I'm doing now in Sketch, it's basically like hard coded. I'm gonna have to go and like copy that over to what I've got in Abstract so I can share that with the team. And that allows everyone to have access to the same libraries, everyone to contribute to it, and it's fantastic. So I've heard of Abstract Ralph, and I think it's great. I'm trying to think of, nothing's perfect. What are things that I don't like about it as much? Oh, I got one. Really simple thing. And actually, I haven't tested to see if they've made any changes. They tend to, I'd say things tend to get updated, or they release new features or updates at least quarterly over the last year. And one of the things that was annoying, and again, I'll have to test it out to see if it's still this way. When I was working within a project, I could only have one sketch file open from that project because it wouldn't let you open multiple projects, and that was really annoying. The other hugely just annoying thing is, even when you don't make a change, or you don't believe that you've made a change, maybe you've unknowingly, unwittingly made a change, it will like tell you, hey, you need to commit the unsaved changes. So it's just like, I don't know what this is. So I'm just like, Abstract told me to commit, so I'm doing it. So there's some funny stuff like that. It's by no means like perfect, but for the most part, it provides the big value that we want from it. So overall, pleased with using Abstract. Julie's going to the mentor event. That's fantastic. Hope to see you there, Julie. If you see me, say hey. And Jiayin, what is this you're saying? Let's see. Good to see you too. Is Abstract similar to Zeppelin? I think that's your question. It is. I'm trying to think. Is it? In what ways is it similar to Zeppelin? I'll share. Did I share this link already? I think so. So Zeppelin is something that's a bit older. I almost think it's Zeppelin.io. Is that it? Yeah, it is. Wait, maybe not. It almost looks like it because they used, but of course, what other icon are you going to use? Zeppelin app. Here it is. Yes. All right. So it's not spelled correctly. It's the cool startup way of doing it, but it is IO. Zeppelin is an interesting way to share files and make it easy to share files. We don't use Zeppelin on our team. We upload stuff in InVision, and engineers tend to use InVision's inspect functionality, which is very similar to what Zeppelin does. My understanding is that Zeppelin is really like about this handoff, right? It allows you to make comments as it's showing. It allows anyone to see like what are the spacing, what are the colors, what's the font. It's great for like handoff tool. I don't believe that Zeppelin has invested in the kind of version control. Like Zeppelin is the storage place for the sketch files, the master sketch files, and everyone pulls from them. I think it's just getting the design. So the big difference for Abstract is that Abstract is the home for your sketch file. So you don't actually go to Sketch to open a file. You go to Abstract to open a file, and you can have multiple people working on the file doing different things. So as I switch over to Sketch, right? For example, I talk about my 3-person team, Chad and Rachel. Maybe I'm working on this card table, and Rachel is working on the modal, and Chad is working on the nav, right? We could all be working separately on our separate branches. As we finish up, we can push those changes through Abstract, and then we'll get a little update notification in the top right that will say, hey, there's some updates. And we can open those up and say, oh, cool, something's been updated. Let me pull that in. For example, let's say tag, right? Let's say this green color changed. and someone pushed that to the master, then I would get a notification that says, hey, something's changed. This tag used to look like this green, and now it's, this other green. I'm going to tweak this sizing a little bit so I can get more of the question, because I'm having trouble seeing the questions. Ralph asks, what exactly is version control? This sounds like a question that someone has answered much more elegantly than me. And I'm going to see if I can find something. Actually, Abstract might do a decent job of it. Should we see? Let's see. Learn more about version control for design. I'm going to post this link for you, Ralph. And yeah, design together in parallel, right? Two different people working on things. Yeah. You can tell what you're doing, right? So you can provide context for the changes you make. It's definitely true. You can see things that you can see changes side by side. Definitely, like here's the master, here's the version, the master version, and here's a branch version. So they made a change. Oh, cool. This is great. This one. New folks, I guess, can see context. I guess I haven't really run into that particular use case. But let's see if there's a good diagram as well. I'm looking for something really simple. Kind of. Oh, here we go. So I think this version control is something real popular with engineering. You may have heard of things like GitHub or GitLab or Git, which is a version control. So you can see that the idea is that there's this master, right? That's like the single source of truth. And then what you do is basically, I'll zoom in on this a little bit, to answer Ralph's question. This is very much the way that Abstract works, more or less, in a similar way. You may want to build something new, and so you create a branch off of the master. And what this is not showing is, it's not showing how it comes back into master, but basically you're branching off of it. At that point, you're using this version of master. Now, master might change, and there can be different branches, but essentially everything will be kept clean. And if there are any conflicts, so let's say someone here in this purple branch made a change that conflicted with a change that someone else made on in this green branch, they would have to resolve the conflict. At the end of the day, they would have to pick which one do you want to be in master. So it's a way to keep everything consistent and everything nice and clean, so you have this single source, this single master source of truth for things. Hope that's helpful. Definitely, Ralph, you can look into Git, G-I-T, which will have even more in-depth information about version control. If you're just solo working on stuff, like for my solo projects, it's not very relevant, right? Because it's really, it became something that was helpful and very valuable when how many things do I have here? I have one up there already. Nice. When working on projects with multiple people and trying to keep things sane, basically. Just imagine if we had individual sketch files and we had, we just saved it on Dropbox or something. that had file, master. And then we both opened it and you made changes and I made changes. There's going to be a problem. Like someone's work's going to get lost, right? Okay. I've got those updated. So now we only have tags and an icon and message. Fantastic. This totals row needs to be aligned. Great. This probably already, oh, no, it needs a little tweak. Excellent. And then cool. Okay. So I've got that done. I want to go back to my table. I think everything else, I basically don't need these things anymore. I'll just use tags. So I have this big table here. Great. That looks good. But I actually want to cut out some of these things. Like, this is not really part of the table. I'm going to call this something else. I'm going to create a new symbol called, I'll call it table tools for now. And then I'm going to delete that because I just want this to have the table. Julie asks, what are your favorite UX metrics to use when evaluating the design's impact on the business? Wow, that's a timely question and not an easy question, Julie. Thank you for asking. I'm actually, let me pull up my work computer because I literally was just writing down some thoughts about this today, and I can speak to them directly, and I can put them up on the screen as well. Here we go. All right, I'm going to get into my note-taking thing. Okay, and let's see. Can I make this bigger? Yes, it's easy to see. All right. Janice. All right. It is totally 2020. Welcome, welcome. Hope the new year's been treating you well. Okay, and I'm going to talk about two things real quick. Output metrics and input metrics. Oh, that's funny. My Echo sometimes thinks I say the trigger word, but I don't. Okay, real quick, output metrics. These are like, think of output, outcome. These are things that you don't have direct control over, but you are trying to influence by your work. And so I'm gonna, whoops, I'm in Notion. If anyone is familiar with Notion, let's do this. How do I do a bullet in Bear? Anyone know? I'm gonna find out, because I feel I'm gonna use a bullet multiple times. So if I do something, 3 times or so, and it seems like a waste of time, I wanna how to type a bullet in Bear Note app. Mac shortcuts Bear. Here we go. Bold, italic, toggle to do. Command F, bullet. No, list. Ordered list. Unordered list. Command L. Okay, cool. There, I learned something new. Let's try it out. Command L. Oh, sure enough, there we go. Of course, my computer went to sleep. Wake that back up. Do. So, output metrics, customer product satisfaction. So how happy are the customers with the product? Dollars, right? These are things that I think especially tie into business impact on the business. Dollars attributed to new product design or improved product design. Team satisfaction, number of support tickets, number of what we call product improvement tickets. Product improvement tickets are largely internal, so anyone on the venture team who is using the app or seeing something, or maybe they got an email from someone, can flag things. So customer product satisfaction, ideally we make that go up. Same with dollars, same with team satisfaction. This is like direct product team, so engineers, product managers. Number of support tickets, hopefully those go down, right? If we're designing very intuitive and covering edge cases and have things covered, then we would expect that the number of support tickets would go down. Number of product improvement tickets, likewise, we hope that those would go down. Input metrics, on the other hand, these are things that we have direct control over. So I think oftentimes we focus very much on output metrics. I think that when most people say, what are the metrics? These are the things they're thinking about, right? Which is interesting because while they're important and valuable and we want to move them, we don't have direct control over them, right? Input metrics, however, we have direct control. So number of projects supported, this could be products supported, improved. This could be something like number of user research sessions. This could be number of design presentations. All of these are going to start with number of. I'm just going to do this ellipsis. And now, Julie might ask a question like, how does this impact the business? And some of these are like much more indirect, right? Well, if we support or improve a larger number of products, that's hopefully going to translate into some of these output metrics like customer product satisfaction, fewer support tickets, more dollars, things like that. Number of user research sessions, again, indirect. But if we increase the amount of time we're spending doing user research and we're doing a decent job on that, then we also should be learning more about our users, understanding them better, sharing that understanding, and that will empower us to make even better decisions, right? Which will have an impact on these things. Abstract design system and code, basically, right? So there's a whole bunch of things that we can measure and look at. Those are some of the ones that I've stubbed in as bullet points. I'm actually going to be talking about those with the rest of my team tomorrow. We've got a little bit of it'll be our first 2020 design team sync, and we're making it a little bit longer so that we have a good chunk of time to talk about 2020 impact and start thinking about what are some of these metrics that we want to, if we're not already measuring, we want to measure. What are some things we really want to focus on? So I love the question. Great question. I'll turn it around too to you, Julie. What are your favorite metrics? What are the kinds of things that you look at to help measure UX impact? the more I think about, I like doing this work thing while streaming. It doesn't work that much. It doesn't work that well because I feel like there's so much interesting things going on chat. I'm like constantly context switching, which is going to increase the likelihood that I make some mistake. But I did make a little bit of progress, so I think I'm just going to save this here. I'll keep it available, so in case anyone has any design system questions, they want to take a peek at some of the stuff we're doing. Happy to do that. And I'm going to shift gears a little bit to what was the next thing. I have my list. So I did intro. I did a little bit of design system work. UX design contest volunteers wanted. Yes. So what I want to do is I want to put something here that says, volunteers wanted. Yay. And then I probably want to do a really short pitch. And then I want to have an application. So I'll probably use Typeform for an application for creating like a survey application. And then for this, I'm probably just gonna use something simple. I'll just use an existing pattern like this card kind of thing. I just need to think about the content a little bit. Hey Lisa, what user research methods do you use with your team? That's a great question. So I'd say historically, the most popular kinds of user research methods that we use are customer interview, or sometimes part interview, part contextual inquiry, where we might ask them to look at something or show us how they've done something. Something that, again, this is another thing I've actually been working on. I think I have the draft ready to share tomorrow, is usability testing. So that's something that we haven't developed kind of a cadence for or rhythm for, or even a real playbook for. And that's something that I spent some time doing. Actually used, if anyone's curious, it's on my website. Actually used this little story that I read. 10 tips for designing better usability tests. And I pulled a bunch of stuff from here to help out. If you are interested in writing better usability tests, I highly recommend checking out this little read, 4-minute read, according to length. I think it's got some good tips. And so those are the primary research methods. There's also other things that we'll look at. We use an app called Full Story that allows us to go back and watch a user session. So sometimes we'll go through if we're trying to troubleshoot an error or figure out what happened. I'm trying to think of any other user research methods we've done. A survey. So a customer product satisfaction survey was something that we did last year, and we're about to release some big updates. So I think probably this quarter is going to be another good opportunity for us to run that survey again to see if we've made any impact. Have we changed things? Oh, hang on. I've got a wife call coming in. I'm going to mute for just a second. All right, audio back on? Yes, yes. All right. Thanks for your patience. my wife's been doing some internal interviewing to look for other opportunities to move within the company, and she was pretty excited. She just got a verbal offer from one of the teams she was most excited about, so yay. Ralph asks, usability testing without recording screen, just recording... Ooh, this is a potential hot take. Usability testing without recording screen, just recording voice. Thoughts? Less useful because you don't see the context, right? If you're just listening to someone, there's some value if they're really good at thinking aloud, which most people are not, at least not right away, because it's fairly unnatural thing to do, right? When you go and use a website, you don't tend to say, okay, let's see, now I want to find, right? You're not thinking aloud. So I think there's a potential for it's less valuable, right? Recording the screen is really important because you can see their behavior, you can see what they're doing. And then the voice, of course, adds that on. Janice maybe calling herself out as a think aloud. How is there a title for someone who thinks aloud regularly? Think alouder? I don't know. Ralph says, if there's a task with a flow, it makes more sense to record it. Yeah, I think almost every task, it makes sense to record it or at least observe it, right? I guess one caveat for Ralph's idea there is if you're not recording the screen, but you're watching, right? I mean, ideally you're recording because you can forget things so easily and it's so helpful to go back and see what the context was from the behavior. But for argument's sake, if you're recording the voice and watching what they're doing, that's definitely better than just listening to the voice as well, right? Because you can see what they're doing. If you're fortunate and you're smart, you're working with at least one other person, so you've got, the possibility of two potential note takers, kind of one dedicated note taker who's capturing things. But yeah, observation. I'd say that's a big thing. Like usability testing, it's really about observation. The think aloud is great because it adds some color and adds some additional context and information for the behavior. But at the end of the day, it's really the behavior, right? So if someone says, oh, this is really confusing, and then they kind of follow and they're successful, it's like, well, you said it was really confusing and you had no problem completing the task. So it's like actions speak louder than words, right? Even especially in usability tests. All right, Julie's weighing in. Some metrics that Julie has used are customer satisfaction. Great. Task completion rate. Oh, interesting. So these are things that potentially you can be measuring through usability tests. That's fantastic. Yeah, tie some metrics in there. Great. Task completion rate, time on task, user error rate. Yep. And then any top-down KPIs. Cool. +1, +1, +1 to all those. Those are great. Yeah, I love the idea of incorporating the usability testing into collecting metrics as well. It's nice. Alrighty, I want to volunteer and I want help with these 3 things, ideally from one person, because that would be very easy to manage. What can I offer in return? I'm actually going to look for some inspiration. And I'm going to see... Oh, interesting. Volunteer match. Huh, maybe I can submit it to like this... Outsource it. That's interesting. Okay, well, I'll keep that on my list. It's not specifically what I'm looking for. Guide Dogs of America. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Look at that doggo. Great. Volunteers wanted. I'm literally just gonna get some examples text here. All right, let's get a couple other sources as well. Discovery Cube, sure. Last minute call. Oh, that's nice. Lisa, you know of a really great book on user research that was published last year? Yeah. Share a link if you can. I forget what the rules are on link sharing. If a link doesn't work, if you post a title, I'll grab a link and I can put it in there for you. Volunteers wanted. Okay, and let's get one more. Oh, this is interesting. Wow. That one's like... That one is quite involved. It's interesting what showed up as the top results for this, right? These are not very large organizations. I would have expected much larger organizations. Maybe something that I've heard of. I guess I just assume if I haven't heard of it, it's not that large, when that's definitely not necessarily true. Think like a UX researcher. Let's check this out. Whoa, that's a... Is it this one? Let's see. It came out, about a year ago. Almost. It's going to celebrate its anniversary tomorrow. All right. Happy anniversary. Think like a UX researcher. That is a super expensive Kindle book. I'm a little stunned. But then I look at the hardcover, 138, paperback 32. This stuff must be gold. All right. Is this something that you read, Lisa, and are recommending? I mean, it's got decent reviews. It's got like 20 ratings. Following the advice in this book can only improve your team and product. Wow. Interesting. Alrighty. I'm going to put this book link in the chat. Fantastic. $306 pages. All right. I'm actually looking. I'm about to finish a book, and always looking for new stuff. This might even be something fun for such a big book, for the team to like split up and read chapters and then come back. I don't know if you've done that as part of a design team. I've done it in the past, kind of splitting up a book so you don't have to read this whole book. You can focus on one area and then you teach it to the rest of the team and they teach you the other parts. And so you get the benefit of having to explain things to someone else, which helps internalize the knowledge. All right, love it. Thank you, Lisa, for the recommendation. All right, I'm gonna look and see what can I find. What are the commonalities of these prompts? So one, it starts with a very clear call to action, volunteer wanted, or a clear ask, right? Cool. I'm gonna use that in mine as well. And then it talks about how important volunteers are. Interesting. So does this one. As a nonprofit organization, Discovery Science Foundation relies on volunteer support. Volunteers are the cornerstone of our training program. And it talks a little bit about puppies are welcome. They learn these things. Volunteers want. They repeat it. Interesting. Learn how to become a puppy raiser. Oh, what was the other one's call to action? It just talks about who can apply. Okay, great. Okay, here's what volunteers do. If you're over the age, great. Volunteer wanted. I can't really say that I can't really say what volunteers do today because there aren't any volunteers. But I can talk about what we need. We're looking for one volunteer. This is interesting. This one talks about more like what they're looking for. I think I need to go a little bit more in this direction. I'm looking for one or more volunteers. I guess it can be, you can work one or more volunteers for 1 month or longer. 1 month or longer. Yeah, that's right. I'll go back and wordsmith this. Oh, Raj is here. All right, he's still alive. Thank goodness. Missy, Raj, how you doing? For 1 month or longer to help with contest design and planning, social media marketing, and or website design and development. Oh, sorry I missed you last time. But yeah, kicking it off. Looks like for the next few months should be able to stick to a pretty consistent schedule. I started putting this up on Eventbrite too to kind of attract some new faces, new voices, new folks. And yeah, things are good. Okay, that's great. What do we offer? I suppose you have to be older than I think you have to be over the age of 18. Because I don't know if there's any weird rules about although these say volunteer 15. I don't know. I just feel like that's messing with stuff. Plus, I don't know how a 15-year-old would find out about this. Are 15-year-olds, do they know what UX is? I have no idea. That's something I should find out. Right? Note to self. Find out average age of person interested in UX design contest. Because I actually have no idea. If you're over the age of 18 and want to make an impact on the design community, this might be just the right place to volunteer. might be there's not really a place. This might just be the right volunteer opportunity. I'm gonna say for you. Cool. I'm looking for one or more volunteers for 1 month or longer to help with. Probably gonna separate this stuff out. How do I do that bullet thing again? Command L. There we go. Contest design and planning. Social media marketing. Website design and development. And then I get rid of the bullets. And I do that. And then that's all nice. But oh, I gotta check out Ralph's list. Modular web design, great. About face, the essentials. This is great. Actually, I literally have this. I'll show it. Let's see. How do I show this? Can you see it? I don't know if this shows. There's something that I haven't dropped. I've got about face, the digital version on my desktop. Elements of user experience, oldie and a goodie, classic. Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman, also classic. Hidden in Plain Sight, haven't heard about that one. Check that out. Micro Interactions. Oh, I love this book. This is one of the ones I've probably gifted more than any other book. Just about. Information architecture. Yep. Lean startup. I love all the lean books. Hacking growth. Haven't read that one. That one sounds good. Designing with the mind in mind. I think I've heard of that one. Haven't read it. Rocket Surgery Made Easy by Steve Krug. That one's great. Just like Don't Make Me Think. This one's more focused on how to run and conduct usability testing sessions. Just Enough Research. Love this one. Erica Hall's book. Doorbells, Danger, and Dead Batteries. User research. Huh. I hadn't heard about that one. That one's new to me. Talking to Humans. Haven't heard of that one. UX for Lean Startups. Laura Klein. Love this one. And Think Like a Researcher. Oh yeah, that's right. Raj won a UX design contest and got that book as part of his little library. Awesome. All right. Getting back here, I want to think about what value do I offer to volunteers. Volunteer benefits. Command L. I love Janice's objective look at things, right? Riding the train, you can read more books, but then you don't have a car. And the train only follows the track. All right, volunteer benefits. What can I commit to in a month? I can do a 30-minute one-on-one video call. Me. I can do a 20-minute design portfolio review. And what else can I do? I can write you a testimonial on LinkedIn. That's pretty big. Maybe we can get rid of one of these other ones then. Maybe make it either or. I'm trying to do things that also don't eat up a ton of time, although one person or a couple people, we can do this. All right, yeah, I'm gonna start out small. Let's start out with the analog. Analog, is that what I said? I mean, asynchronous. Most of these things I can do on my own time. I don't have to try to align schedules. So let's try this. Oh, I know. Can help judge a contest. I don't know. Maybe that's a benefit. Kyle asked, do you have to be in San Francisco to volunteer? No, you don't. You can be literally anywhere in the world because all of this stuff can happen digitally. That's the beauty of the web, right? Cool. Let's go with this. Cool. So I have a simple little thing to flag, and then I'll have a link or something that says apply. What are the other places used for their call to action? Learn more. Learn more. Apply. How do you apply? Volunteers wanted. How to apply? To go to a different site. How to apply? There's an application. Okay. How do you apply on this? Email us. Interesting. Okay. All right. The first UX design contest volunteer. Boom. I don't think it needs exclamation point. There's too many exclamation points. That's long too. I might shorten it. Okay. How much time commitment per week does volunteering entail? I have absolutely no idea. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'd say, let's see, contest design and planning. It's a great question. Let me think about, I wish I'd done one real recently because then the information would be fresh in my mind. So in the past, I've spent about 2 hours just designing and planning the contest. Social media marketing. I think this, I don't know. I'm not a social media marketer. As my wife says, I suck at marketing. I don't enjoy it. I like creating and building and that's why live streaming is easy because I can't do all that other stuff. I can do it. I don't enjoy it. I think this is, I don't know. We can help make the post. This is probably another, let's say 2 hours a month. I mean, even tweeting out once is going to be like 10x increase. So it doesn't need to be a lot. I mean, tweets and things, as long as we come up with a template, this is like, maybe it's just an hour. Website design development. This is flexible. I'd say this is probably the least important thing, at least initially. I'll just put flexible. Lisa asks, do you have some kind of personal knowledge base where I store my ideas, notes, book lists? I have my brain. I'll tell you, that's not a great place. I'd say I have some different places. So like I have a little, I just don't know where the camera is exactly pointing. I have this little notebook that I keep when things come up when I'm streaming. If there's an idea that I really don't want to forget, oftentimes I'll email the idea to myself. Maybe that sounds kind of weird, but I feel like email's fairly easy to search. Book lists and things, I tend not to keep track of lists, but I can go into Amazon and search and like find those things out. Yeah, otherwise Google Docs or like whatever tool I'm using at the moment. If you have a good way, this is something that I think I could level up in 2020, is thinking about stopping for a moment and kind of planning out things, or really thinking about an organizational strategy. That's not something I have invested in much historically. So yeah, how about you, Lisa? How do you keep track of all your ideas and things? Okay, so 1 month. Okay, so here, yeah, I'm looking for 1 or more volunteers for, 4 to 5 hours for 1 month or longer. For 1 month, maybe it's easy to keep it like this. Maybe I'll make a minimum. Is it more attractive to say 1 to 2 hours? Maybe. The 1 sounds like a minimum time commitment. Yeah. All right. Next. Great. So I have all these things. Now I want to create I think I actually have something. Let me go back. No, not that far back. Okay. I'll probably use the same entry form. Well, this must have a style. All right. Let's start from scratch. But I'm also going to, this is going to be UXD contest volunteer application. What am I creating? I'm creating application form. What's it for? Lead gen. Recruiting. I guess recruiting. Catch up with chat. Chat is off the hook tonight. Good job. Good job, everyone. How many other designers are you working with? Ralph's got a question. What is... I need to pull this out. Part of it's cut off. Oh, I see. He's asking about some specific questions. Ralph's just gut checking a couple of questions to see if they're leading. What is important? What's important? Is that a leading question? No, that's not it. That's an open-ended question. It's definitely not a leading question. What's frustrating and confusing? Frustrating and confusing. I might just change it to or. What's frustrating or confusing? But no, neither of those two are strike me as leading questions because they're open-ended, right? A leading question would be something like trying to come up with a really clever leading question slows me down. A leading question basically just motivates people to say one thing or the other. For example, oh, Raj is going to sleep. Raj, thank you for joining. Glad you are doing well and hope you have an awesome rest of the week. Sweet dreams. For example, a leading question could be something like, I wish I have a scenario. I'm like thinking about this like really significant scenario. Hey, appreciate it, Raj. You're welcome. This is ridiculous. I'm thinking of vanilla ice cream. A way to turn asking about ice cream into a leading question. Yeah. Oh, this one's good. I like this one. This one actually is kind of classic, and it talks about like the language that you used. So, Ralph, for example, if we saw a car accident together on the street, and then I ask you, you're a witness. I ask you, how fast was the car traveling when it smashed into the other car? Smashed is such a strong word that if I ask 10 people, they're going to give me, on average, a higher speed because it's a leading question. It implies something. It steers someone in a certain direction, right? So maybe for my vanilla ice cream one, it may be something like, how many calories do you think were in that rich, delicious, sugary, creamy vanilla ice cream, right? It's like using all kinds of words that make you think about like calories, for example, instead of just asking the non-leading version of both those questions, right? First, the ice cream one. How many calories do you think were in that ice cream? And with the car, how fast was the car traveling? Right? How fast was the car traveling before the accident? Something like that. I hope that helps. So if you're not providing that kind of color or like nudging people in a direction, then your question will not be a leading question. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to Typeform to make a survey. We're gonna say welcome. We're just gonna say UX design contest volunteer application. Simple enough. Cool. I want to just go to where are the styles? Design. I think I have one. My theme. Design contest. Here we go. Woo woo. All right, we got some more people joining. Thank you. I'll probably see it in just a minute. Who subscribed? Appreciate it. Lisa uses Notion. Fantastic. I use Notion at work. I don't know. For some reason, I haven't adopted it as much as at home, which is really, I find that really odd, actually. because I love it at work, and I haven't made the merge. That's a good one. Oh, actually, Lisa, one thing I have used in the past quite a bit, I just don't update it that frequently, is Airtable. So I will plug that as a place where I have done some larger lists of things. And they've got tags and design system. That's fantastic. Also has a list of books with separate document for every book where you put book notes. Bam. All right, Lisa. Kudos to you. I guess that's a salute and maybe a hat tip. That's fantastic. I'm inspired to be more thoughtful about keeping things organized. Alrighty. The things I want help with, again, I'm just gonna remind myself, kind of keep this over here for now. Oh, why can't I have both? There we go. Add a question. Open-ended question. Why do you want to be a UX design contest volunteer? Simple enough, yes. Contest design and planning. You don't really need. I know. I could ask for not long text. What's an idea you have for a future UX design contest? I'll ask that. Social media marketing. What's your Twitter account? A link to Twitter account. So where's the link one? Website. First I should ask, do you have a Twitter account? It's easier for people to write their handle though, isn't it? Than to give me the link. So let's get rid of this one. Short text. Oh, actually, let's do multiple choice. Which of the following social media platforms have you visited, used in the past month? So I want to know if you've been on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, guess. Maybe. I don't have a Facebook page for it though, but that's something someone could help me with. Any other platforms that are relevant? I think those are the top 3 that are relevant. Good night, Janice. See you next week. Sweet dreams. Alrighty, and website design. This is I should say that this is optional. I don't want to scare people off. Let's do a rating question. How interested are you in contributing to the website's design or development? And stars should be stars. Yeah, stars is nice, I guess. 5 stars. 5 stars. What other shapes are available? Hearts, users, thumbs up. This is interest. How interested are you? Thunderbolts. Hearts. Feels kind of weird. Dogs. How many dogs interested are you? That's fun. I love it. We have dogs and cats. Circles. That seems really... That actually looks weird. That one doesn't strike me. I wonder how they decided on these. Ooh, trophies. UX design contest. This one's genius. Alright. I think this one fits in well. Okie dokie. Oh, I should also ask maybe another multiple choice question. What's going on? It's like covering everything up. How many hours would you like to, how many hours do you have available for volunteering? It's not about available. How many hours would you like to spend volunteering? One to 2, 3 to 4, more than 4 hours. I'll have less than 1 hour, so I can weed people out as well. I can duplicate this one. I think the idea will just be for a month, right? Try it out. No one's gonna sign up for multiple months. Ooh, how soon can you start? That's a good one. Do I have a date? I do. How soon could you start? Oh, I need email address too. I haven't even got this person's name or email address. Let me get that stuff. My goodness. Hi, I'm Adam Ruff. What's your name? Boom. And then email address. I think they have a question for email. There we go. What's your preferred email address? Great. Okay, I think I've got a bunch of questions. Keeping in mind that people who go through a survey, the fewer questions you can ask to get the critical information, the better, or the more likely people are to complete your survey. So I'm going to take a quick look and see, is there anything I don't need to ask right now? I really don't need to be asking for ideas, right? All right, I'm gonna move some of these things around though. Didn't move. Okay, what's your name? What's your preferred email? Great. So like, what else could I get from people? Show me an example of your best tweet? I don't think so. I just want to know what social media platforms, relevant social media platforms a person has experience with. So if they visited or used it in the past month, to me that's like cool. That means that you are somewhat familiar with it. Finding out their motivation why, that's important. How interested or uninterested, I guess it could be, right? I think I can add labels. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's not rating. What is it? Opinion scale? Here we go. I'm actually going to do this one. I think. Yes. And not at all interested. Extremely interested. There we go. That's actually the one that I wanted to make. I'm going to put a note. Working on the website is totally optional. Just give that little note there. And make sure all these things are required. Do I need to know how many hours per month? I will say that in the, yeah, probably. I will put a description, maybe something like 2 hours. Oh, that'll be interesting. See who reads. 2 hours per month required. I don't think there should be any minimum. These are volunteer. I'm not gonna do that. Let's just see how much people are interested. Great. How soon could you start? Required. I want to mark all these as required. Email address required. Why do you want to be a volunteer? Yes, required. Great. I think this is the kind of the bare minimum list. And then let's see. Do I have something like UX design? Come on. Type. Design contest. What is this? Yeah, kinda could work. That maybe PNG. Nope, not that one. Maybe that one. Ooh. Maybe this one. All right, let's try this. See what it looks like. Interesting. Doesn't really actually that the funny thing is the little banner with the trophy, that might have been just the perfect kind of decoration. Just this. I think that might actually be it. Let's try it. There we go. That's it. Because it fits in okay. All right, great. So, oh, I know what I need to do. I gotta go create this. I need to turn on notifications. I want to email. New volunteer candidate from cool, that works great. A thank you page. I don't have a thank you page. I will add a thank you screen. And I'm going to take off social sharing. I'm going to remove the button. And I'm going to say thanks name. That's interesting. It's probably going to be their full name. That's fine. Adam will review your application in 1 to 2 business days and contact you if you're selected. Maybe I'll say this. It doesn't need to be this. If you're selected, Adam will contact you by email. I don't know, someone subscribes on the weekend. I do it on like Monday. I'll just say we'll contact you by email soon. Have an awesome day. Oops. Have a puppy-tastic day. And then I'm going to add an image of a cute puppy. Because puppies are awesome. Oh, this one looks like they're having fun. This one's super adorable. Look at this one. Oh, there's a bunch of puppies. That's a puppy-tastic day, huh? Great. Publish. Share. All right, anyone want to test out the survey? It's always a good idea to test it yourself and to let other people test it out. If anyone wants to test out my survey, go at it. Let me know if you run into anything confusing. Really good idea to review, ask a peer to review, smooth out any kinks. And then I need to add this pitch. So I've got this pitch here. Let me start opening up my web dev tools. So I'm going to be using CodeKit, and I'm going to switch to UX Design Contest. Boom. I've got GitHub. I'm going to switch over. Oh wow, what are all these things? I don't have contest details for that yet. I see. That was something I started earlier. Nice. Okay. And then I have my coding environment, which I will bring up on screen in just a second once I get it up. Oh, weird. Where? Open folder. Command-Shift-O. There we go. This is Dropbox, current projects. This is the one. Okay, I got index page open. And yes, I know it's 2020. Why is this still just a like static HTML page? Yeah. We'll see. if I learn enough, I get comfortable and confident enough with React, maybe I will redo it. But right now, no need. I kind of like the vanilla stuff. All right, so I am going to make this volunteer. Where am I going to make it appear? I guess I'm going to do a little bit of planning. I don't have a modal pattern. Kind of wish I did. I just do this. Volunteers wanted. Is there something special I do? Just looking at different patterns. Actually, maybe want to grab the past contests one. No, that's too complicated. We'll just do this. Here we go. So I have intro. So I'm just gonna duplicate this section. This will be help wanted. Volunteer wanted. All right, let me just paste in that information from Bear. Copy this. Okay. This kind of works out great because I already have these. Oops. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Basically, I'm just copy pasting information in. Great. And then it says text in here. Get rid of this. So that's a paragraph. I can continue on to go with the text, I think. If you're older than if you're 18 or older, there we go. I'm going to do a wave. And then I'm basically going to duplicate and remove this. Maybe I'll put a date. Maybe not. Benefits. What is a good emoji for benefits? Gifts? Like the gift thing? Maybe this? Guess I'm typing it now. Benefits. "20-minute design portfolio review." written testimonial on LinkedIn. And opportunity to help judge a contest. There we go. Great. And then we need the application button. Where's an example of a button? Give feedback. Okay. Oh, that's where I should also put volunteer. All right. All right. And I hear the garage door opener. That means my lovely wife is home and I need to go cook some dinner. So I'm going to be just stubbing this in here. We'll save this for now. Hopefully I can wrap this up. Thank you so much for everyone who showed up and was active in chat. Ooh, cookie. I see Lisa's recommendation. Oh my goodness. Yes, I like it even better. Cookie. Boom. Thank you, Lisa. Too many people to name in chat tonight. You know who you are. You're awesome. You're active. You're asking questions. You're sharing, contributing. Fantastic. Love it. Hope to see you again next week. And I see, Julie, I see your call out for multiple select. I will fix that. Thank you. Hope to see you next week. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern, next Thursday. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Be safe, be healthy, and take care of each other. Good night.